want to do a quick check. Make sure that everything is streaming correctly. All right. This is good. I'm gonna mute that. Check on YouTube. Testing, testing, testing. And last but not least, mixer. And last but not least, mixer. Good, I think we're completely set. Alright, let's get to a point of equilibrium sound. Chair's too loud, obviously. So I'll scoot this around. I'm so tired. Let's just start it up. I need to do this just to do it, or else I'm never going to do it. 98%, that's horrific. Time won't start yet. I'm going to get a glass of milk.
I don't want to upset your rhythm, Cal, but the boss wants a word. It's gonna be good for us. Here he is, Chief.
An error has been detected on line 10A. All our clamps are jammed. I need 2 workers to climb up and secure the cables.
That's not an easy maneuver.
The guild will double your pay for this shift.
Come on, Cal. What's our score? That couldn't hurt. Huh?
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Get to work.
This way.
And start timer. Let's go.
Sorry, Cal.
Don't worry about it.
I don't think these tools are gonna make it through the shift.
Up here. Will you look at that? separatist ship. Haven't seen a Luke or Hulk in ages.
Yeah. Ages.
Breaking her will be big money. All right, let's go.
Look out!
Hands up! What the hell?
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Ladder's out, though. Gonna have to find another way.
Yeah, no problem. I'll improvise.
See you there, pal.
Depart this barge immediately. You are not approved trash.
And trash? Just not approved trash.
Easy there.
Just passing through.
Hurry up. We're close to finishing ahead of schedule. I can just about taste the credits. It's gonna be a wild night tonight. Let's get this job done.
Reckless cow.
Good to see you.
You too. Go get yourself killed.
That's the idea. Sounds like scrap rats. Creepy. Just passing through, guys. No need to come out and say hi this time.
Hey, Cal, I'll meet you at the clamps.
Sounds good. Be there soon.
Trust me, in a 10-hour run, in order to actually beat this thing, you have to find something else to do. Or else your will will stir crazy.
How'd you get here?
Look, the ship cutter is here. There it goes.
If you're curious about... By the way, I'm not listening to the audio at all. I'm watching a movie on Netflix. If you're curious about how I know when to go, when the conversation cues are, it's because I've now played this game so many times that I actually know how long the conversations take.
Hurry, we gotta finish before they start cutting this wing.
Cal, use the manual override lever below.
Got it. Your turn.
Hold on. All right, clamp secured. Whoa. You okay?
Still here.
If anyone's curious, it's the Manhunt. It's Manhunt Unabomber.
Done.
Hang on.
I just started to
I got
show.
this. We're done. Get out up here. Come take a look at this. It's a Jedi fighter. What a score! It's a real scrapper's payday. I mean, this he's been here, what, 4 years?
5.
Whoever flew this went down in a blaze of glory. Those Jedi. Real tragedy. I've always said they couldn't all be traitors.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess it's just our lucky day. Empire's gonna get a lot of good material out of it. Yeah, here we are, scrapping these ships from the war just so they can turn around and make new ones. A racket, huh? All of us risking our necks for the bosses. And the pay was better back during the Republic, too.
Hey, you really should watch what you say.
Now listen to me. Find us free like this, it'll be your ticket off this soggy rock.
What makes you think I want out of here?
Come on, Cal, you're a young guy. You don't end up like me. Eventually, you gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny.
Whatever you say. Hey, we should get back down.
You're not listening to me. What was that? Help me!
Rob, you okay?
Cal! I can't climb up!
Rob, just hang on.
Consider me!
No, don't let go.
I can't hold on!
Rob, no!
Oh,
You okay, bro?
I'm all right. Just pin down.
Pilot's gone. I'll get us out of here. Just hang on.
Watch out, Cal!
Look out! This thing is barely flying. Hold on! Bro, you all right?
Yeah. Okay,
We gotta move. Come on.
hell happened? What was that?
If this is the run that does it, that you actually get that I put permanently in my playlist, then
I know. I know.
congrats. I'm not talking too much because I'm really, really tired of talking a bunch for like 2 hours. And then nothing happens, so... And I die 7 hours in, and that's the end.
You holding up okay?
Good. Yeah, you?
Yeah. Cal, I've been working with you some time now. I've never seen you do anything like that before. We've been through some hell together. So, I know the risk that you took for me. I don't know how to repay you.
Don't mention it. I mean it.
Well, you don't have to worry about me. This place, it's not safe. Maybe you should, disappear.
Just gotta head back to my place, grab my bag. Tappers owes me a favor.
I heard he was up on Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah. You won't be seeing me for a while, bro.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Cal.
going?
Apprentice, mark well and listen.
Master.
Trust only in the Force.
Train has stopped.
Yeah, something's going on.
Everybody up. Identification ready. Move out and line up.
Probably just another contraband inspection.
Is this all of them?
Yes, second sister.
We seek a dangerous fugitive. This is no common anarchist, but a devotee of the treasonous Jedi Order. Failure to turn over this traitor will result in a charge of sedition. Turn yourself in, or everyone present shall face summary execution.
I think it's time someone came forward. I've been working on this heap a long time. Way before the war. We refit and rebuilt ships. Best in the galaxy. Then came the Empire. And engineers became scrappers. The workers, they just started getting worked.
Ralph.
We all know the truth. We're just too afraid to say it. To the Empire, we're all just expendable.
Yes, you are.
No!
Look at this. A lightsaber.
I found the Jedi!
What's that? Taking out the disturbance.
Oh, that hurts.
Hold it. Don't move. How'd you get here?
Easy now.
Got a stowaway.
Hey, you don't need to call this in.
Quiet. This is TK-8190. Repeat, did you? Time to fight! Hear that over the comm? Jedi? Stay sharp. It's a traitor. Blast him! Contact confirmed. Shoot to kill. They can't hold me, can they? Enemy here! I sealed the cargo door. You aren't leaving here alive.
keep moving.
I didn't see you training this morning with the rest of us. I chose to rest instead. Eyes over there. He can't beat all of us.
Easy.
Over there. Oh, it's you. The fugitive comes this way. Take him out.
Get to the front. Stop the train. Oh no! Need cover. Gotta move in between bursts. Now. Faster.
And roll.
I'm ready for you, traitor.
You shot the coupling out. Gotta get down. Ah! 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 No, no, no! Whoa! This is bad! Only way is up. train stuff? Now, this can't be good. Whoa!
You can just slide off right there and it's still gonna... That's so weird.
Going somewhere. I recognize that stance. Perhaps you've had some training after all. Who was your master, Padawan? Someone I killed, perhaps? What Jedi gave their life so that you might live? You can't run forever. That strike will be your last. Jedi.
Yep, that's it. Easy.
Get on board!
Okay, shut that thing off and grab some seat.
Thanks for the help. But who are you people?
My name is Seer Junda, and this is my captain, Grease Dritus.
How you doing? Yeah, the Mantis is my ship, but you better pay attention to this lady here.
So, who are you?
Cal. Kestis. Who was that back there?
An Imperial Inquisitor. She's a Force user hunting Jedi survivors. And now that she knows who you are, she will not stop until she destroys you.
How do you know so much? And why'd you help me?
We track Imperial communications. We heard the Inquisitors were heading to Braca. So we made our move.
Oh, yeah? What's the bounty on Jedi these days anyway?
That's gratitude for you.
Look, I get it. You've been surviving on your own for so long that it's impossible to trust anyone. And it's what's kept you alive. But this is about something bigger than just surviving.
Like what?
Like rebuilding the Jedi Order.
You too? Anybody else?
Oh, we're not good enough for you?
The Jedi Council?
They're gone.
So I'm all you've got.
Captain, set a course for Bogano.
Aye, aye.
In the meantime, try and relax. Go, you're safe. For now.
You gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny. Telecom!
And
You were talking in your sleep. Weirdo.
I'm behind, which is interesting. But I don't really care about the time too much as long as I don't fall, like, you know, hours behind.
Breeze?
Not now. I got work to do.
That's all. I wrote it. Years ago. You touch an object and witness events connected to it. You feel its history.
It's an echo in the force from the object.
Not many Jedi have that skill.
How would you know that?
I was once a Jedi, but not anymore.
Do I know you?
No. But I knew your master, Jaro Tapal. He was a true guardian of the Republic.
He was a hero. Listen. Something happened to me during the Purge. I survived, but my connection to the Force is damaged. When I meditate, if I let my guard down, I lose control. And it's like I'm back in that moment when...
You survived, Cal. And you're not alone. Not anymore.
Come up with our destination.
This is Bogano. A Jedi I knew discovered it before the Purge. You won't find it on any maps.
The Empire doesn't know this place exists?
No.
So? What's the plan? Will you hide out here?
We're done hiding, Cal. See that structure over there? I believe that vault holds the key to rebuilding the Jedi Order. But it requires someone strong in the Force to pass its test.
And since you're not a Jedi anymore, that's why you need me.
I know you don't trust me. And I'm not really sure I trust you. But we have a common enemy, and a common cause. I'll share more of my plan after you reach the vault. But, until then, there's someone here I think you should meet. May the Force be with you.
Guess I'm looking for a Jedi then. But if there's already one here, why does Seer need me? This looks like a safe place to meditate. Just need to focus my... Hey, BD1. I'm Cal. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm looking for someone. No, not you. I'm searching for a Jedi, I think. Hold on. You know the Jedi? What do you know? Wait, hold on!
Did you just slice that? Thanks.
What's the vault Seer mentioned? Whoever I'm supposed to find must be waiting there.
The map tutorial. Yeah. Oh, man. You know how many people are trying to run this game 100% on Twitch? That's right. Because it sucks. But I'm gonna do it. I will succeed if it takes me the rest of my life.
Any ideas? Gotta get across this gap somehow. A zip line? Whoa! How'd you know that would work? Wait, you didn't? Careful over there. That doesn't look safe. Just like back at the scrapyard. Hold on, I'm coming. Whoever lived here used this room for storage. They kept food and supplies. Hey, that was pretty brave.
There we go. Easy enough.
Okay. Wait, I can help you with that. Will you let me? Oh, okay. Well, this comlink is busted, but this should help you get moving for now. Okay, try that. The vault. Yeah, that's where I was headed to. Okay, well, first we gotta figure out a way out of this place. BD, that's a little small for me.
I'll have to remember to come back in here and get all of the scans later.
Tight fit, but this should work. Those vines look like they lead somewhere. Hope they're sturdy. of surprises. That's better. Thanks, little droid. Okay, let's try this again. Oh,
Nice.
Okay. Here, hop on board. So, how'd you get here? Don't remember? I've never known a
I just noticed this, but I never saw this before.
Can't argue with that.
As you move closer through the story chapters of the game, it starts with the image for the story chapter very separated. I'll see if I can show it. Yeah, see this chapter 1, it's all fragmented and broken, and then it gets put back together as the game goes on.
That's where we need to go. I can feel it. You mapped everywhere we've been. I can't make it over there. We gotta find another way.
Alright.
What's this?
I'll be getting scans of all the tactical enemies. I'll be opening all chests.
Something was in there.
I will be getting every Force Echo and scan in the game
Good. I'm glad.
for a true 100%.
This tool was used by someone eager to reach the vault.
The one sticking point in the run that I'm not sure what to do about is the skill tree.
Run for it!
I'm not sure what to do about it. When I end the game at the rate that I do it at, which I think is a perfect rate, I think it's super efficient. Exactly 10 hours.
What'd you find?
You know. I'll get every terrarium seed.
Okay, I'll look.
I don't know. I'm left with 7 left, and I don't want to interrupt the rate at which I do it, but if I don't get every skill point, then I don't get a full
See something in
100%
there?
clear. Even if I found a really optimal place to grind it out, that amount of XP would take, geez, I don't know, another hour at least. Dang it.
Try again.
It's difficult, Master.
Yes, the path is difficult. It may seem impossible, but with persistence and the Force as your ally, you will overcome any obstacle. You will master any path. Now, do what you must to reach me.
Force is my ally. Just remembering old tricks. Think you can show me that shortcut again? This area was used for meditation. There's someone familiar with the Jedi Order. Whoever owned this bag brought it from Coruscant. They were frustrated with the Jedi Council. Oh, all right then. So what was in there? Camp here. They were excited to discover a giant creature that lives close by. A binog, they called it.
Nice. That stun normally doesn't go off so well.
Sorry about your scoffling. Standing up to that bog rat? Pretty brave.
You have to wait here for him to look at you, and then you can scan him.
That creature seems so at home here. Protector of Pagana. I thought that was you.
Alright, up we go.
Racy there. Oh, it's on. We're not finished yet. Okay, he probably would have won. Probably. Another one? Well done.
Hey, Chostito75. Welcome to the stream. It's going well so far, but it could end tragically at any moment. That is the nature of the run that I'm trying to do. A deathless run. Why are you sorry? Happy to have a viewer. You know? I always like people coming by checking out the stream.
Well done, whoever you are. You have passed the test I left behind, and gained access to the vault and this recording, one of many encrypted logs stored in the droid. I am Master Eno Cordova, I
This is
may
the
not
longest
know
run I've
your,
ever
but I know
ever
your
done.
purpose. The fate of the Jedi or
I probably should have just picked up a 3-hour-and-a-half game, finished it quick, called it, got something on the get something on my channel page. Who knows? But I am stubborn, so I will finish this off.
Vision of doom. I have placed inside this vault a Jedi holocron containing a list of the names and locations of young Force sensitives throughout the galaxy. Ahead, you will find the inner chamber of the vault, but also another test. I can only trust this holocron to someone who has followed my path and understands. Seek out the hidden tombs of the three sages and learn to perceive the mysteries of the Force as the Zepho once did. In this droid, you will find everything you need to succeed on this journey. Go to the Zepho homeworld. There, you will find peace in the eye of the storm. Good luck, Jedi. And may the Force be with you.
I guess you were the someone I was supposed to meet. You know, I've been alone for a while now. Without any purpose, just hiding. There's no way to live. Not for a Jedi. Or a droid. Seer was right. Maybe we're done hiding. Hey, you want to meet some, friends of mine? I think I found what you wanted me to see.
Sounds like you did. We'll be waiting.
That was a weird, sort of glitchy deal. That is one of the things. That is one of the things about the game. The game can still be a little glitchy.
Good job.
Nice.
What?
My friend, it appears the Zepho had some interest in Dathomir. Strange. For such a peaceful culture to have any sort of fascination with a place so dark.
What's this?
Nice.
Should be a lot quicker than the way in.
If you get too close, the little, I don't know what you call the thing, the little bogling is gonna zip down in his hole, and it won't work. No, it's going to be faster to get that later. To back up for the health pack, I can do later faster and more efficiently.
Good job.
You passed the test.
So you knew about BD-1?
Come on board. We'll talk inside.
Oh, BD-1, this is Grease. Hey, Grease.
What is that? Get off my sofa! Get off my sofa! No! Get out of there! Get out!
That is BD-1. He's with us.
I don't care who he's with. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get oil stains out of petroleum fabric?
Not really.
Nice.
We found something better out there than this droid.
Oh, calm down, Grease. He did.
That's all the Oreos.
The vault was built by an ancient civilization called the Zepho. A Jedi named Eno Cordova hid something inside of it.
What did he hide inside?
A holocron from the archives. It contains a list of Force-sensitive children.
The next generation of Jedi. I knew it! Oh, Cordova, you old fool.
You knew him?
Yes. A long time ago. I was his apprentice. Cordova was a loner. That little droid and I are probably the only ones that know about Bogano.
Hold on, wait a minute. A hollow what?
A holocron. It stores information, but only accessible to Jedi. Hang on, I think I have one around here. Use the Force.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen.
With that list of Force sensitives, we could rebuild the Jedi Order and defeat the Empire.
Okay, no problem. Let's get it.
Well, except the holocron is hidden deep inside the vault, and to get it, we have to follow Cordova's path. He mentioned something about the
I was
planet
always a little bit bummed that they
Gathering
didn't go
as
over the
Zepho.
whole Obi-Wan
Where are we going? I'm just asking because I was
message.
thinking of maybe making some food.
Look, before we do anything, I need to know something. How come you're no longer a Jedi?
I had an experience that changed my perspective. So I cut myself off from the Force.
But you still want to rebuild the Order.
I believe that rebuilding the Order is the best chance we have against the Empire. What do you believe?
I believe I can't keep hiding from the Empire, so I don't really have a choice.
Cal, as long as you're alive, you will always have a choice. Are you with us?
We're in.
Dathomir Zepho, it's your choice.
Hey, Grease, what's this thing?
What? You've never seen a terrarium before?
Sure, but don't they usually have plants in them?
Well, I've been a bit busy hauling you around the galaxy. But you know, you could pay me back with some seeds.
I thought you hated nature.
When it's out there, you betcha. But when it's behind a comfortably thick wall of embarring glass, that's perfection.
All right, I'll see if I can find any. Seer, can you feel the Force at all?
Yes. But instead of opening up, I push it back down. The exact opposite of what you should do.
Out there, I remembered something about myself before the Purge. It was painful, but like I found a piece of myself.
That's good. You're learning to embrace the Force again.
How can you say that?
Because I know what it means to live without it.
Okay, I'll keep trying.
Let's talk later, Cal. Where to next, Cal?
What is that thing saying? I don't know why people have droids.
Tell that to him. He can understand you.
He can? Look, I didn't mean anything by it. Droids just freak me out.
What doesn't? You sound like an imp. They deactivate droids just because they can. That makes him one of us.
Oh, tough break. I take it back. You're all right, buddy. Get over here, kid. We're about to land. Think of a storm brewing down there. This might not be the best time to land.
Something strange. Those winds are interfering with our comms.
Hey, Cordova mentioned something about peace in the eye of the storm. Well, I can just make out a settlement in the middle of it.
Then we have to get there.
Copy that.
Going to grab a soda.
Oh, couple bumps ain't gonna kill you, kid. Unless the wind picks up. Can you tell that bucket of balls to keep his opinion to himself?
I'm sure everything's under control.
It's under control. It's just a little tricky. Okay, hold on.
I know the stream, you know,
Easy money,
I'm in an interesting spot. I'm a new Twitch streamer, relatively, so I'm still sort of trying to
I'll search for signs of Cordova.
find my voice, I guess would be a good way to put it.
I'll be in touch once I crack this. Cal, over here. You did good work on Bogano. The more information we gather on Cordova and Zepho, the closer we'll get to stopping the Empire.
I've heard of ancient cultures, but don't know much about them.
I only knew that Cordova was obsessed with the Zepho, believing their teachings to be important. I, too, was intrigued by the mysteries of our galaxy. You better get moving. There's a lot to learn here. Good luck.
I can see you two have been through a lot. It's not easy.
No, it's not. But I think of those who believed in me at one point. If I give up on myself, then I give up on them. I'm sure you have a few of those.
Prof, friend on Braca. He sacrificed himself so I could live.
He believed in you. A lot of people depend on you, even if they don't know it yet. Keep going, Cal. For Prof. For everyone.
BD-1's a helpful droid.
He does seem to be warming up to you.
Cordova must have really liked droids. He decided to leave such important information with BD-1.
I only assume he chose BD-1 because he needed some sort of ability to store encrypted information. These exploration droids are good tools for that sort of thing. But I'm sure it's more than
Dang it, I need the audio cue. Huh? Oh, good. Just ends.
Please, I'm trying to collect my thoughts.
Alright. I've memorized most of the conversations and the lengths they should take, but I am still a bit fuzzy on some of the longer ones. On exactly when the audio cues kick out.
What are you looking at?
Who are you talking to?
Just my ship, the Manus. Good name, right? Intimidating. But what do you know? You probably never even flown a ship. Maybe I'll teach you one day, when you're done with your Jedi stuff. I'll even give you a discount.
It's dangerous being on the run, huh?
You're telling me. You lose someone?
His name was Prof. Traded his life for mine.
Sounds like a tough, strong guy. Not far from myself.
He was. Since the day I stepped foot on Braca, he watched over me. Never complained.
Never complained? On that trash heap?
I just hope he didn't do it for nothing.
They never do, kid. They never do.
Nice landing, Grease.
Me? Oh, yeah. Not a problem. It's easy for a skilled pilot like myself, especially when flying a ship like this. This baby was a steal. Well, I mean, I didn't steal it. I bought it. Well, I sort of almost. I mean, I took out a small loan. Big loan, actually. No, it's fine. Look, we're all fine. Don't worry about it. Don't you have Jedi stuff to do? Get to it, kid. What do you want? You're up to something. Nothing gets past old Greasy. I'm watching.
Oh, all right then. So what was in there? Scanning again? Oh, okay. What is it?
One of my least favorite enemies in the game. Not because they have a chance to kill me, but because they are annoying.
Okay, I'll look.
Cal, can you hear me?
The Empire. They found Zeppo.
If they were following the Mantis, we would have been swarmed already.
Could they be looking for the tombs?
Let's hope not. Just got our contact.
Nice. The timing by that, I just have to basically do off of the memory of how long exactly it takes these things to jump out of their holes from the moment that they start coming up.
Mother used this fabric to keep her child warm. They were on the run from something. Stim crate. Should be here. Wait, can you carry more? Thanks, BD1.
I love the Tomb Raider vibes that the game does give off. They probably, honestly, those are the most similar games to Jedi Fallen Order. Tomb Raider with a Star Wars theme. Let the troopers kill the... don't shoot at me. Let the troopers kill the scavs. There's no need to run up to them. You need to go back down this way anyway, so just deflect them back. All of the movements that I take, every route, every turn, and every subsection of every level is very carefully laid out.
Thanks, BD1.
Why are we even still here? Got an intruder! Okay, Jedi, fight me!
Take that.
An intruder?
If at any point you're watching the recording of this, if this manages to succeed,
You won't kill me!
then you can, of course, stop the recording at any time to look at one of the lore pieces.
Take her and go. I'll lead them away.
Ulster, no!
It's all lies. The Empire just wanted this land.
I can't hit him. Step off.
What's this?
Where are you taking us?
The Empire's forced the villagers from their homes. Frightened refugees, shipped off to work camps. Or worse.
Alright, so here I'm going to buy a few upgrades. Upgrade 1. Dash strike. Dang it. Yeah.
Come back here. Something we can use?
Local fauna. Incredibly... Someone else get in here. Going to beat you, Jedi.
Oh, okay. Did you find something, BD-1?
From the sky. Dang it. I'm still short.
Come back here. What is it?
Yeah, time to block wrong.
That looks like a problem.
Alright, I don't have dash strike like I would normally, so I'll have to do this the slow, boring way. 3 strikes, dash back, and then 3. dodge. Nice. And roll. I got him. Oh no, crap! Okay. This is where you cannot touch anything. Don't touch anything. Either I'm going to die or I'm going to live. Okay. So, hold on. I'm pausing my Netflix show. Okay, so the key factor there is what. First off, I timed that horrifically. He had time to shoot me point blank. Now, when he shoots you point blank, the game has an inbuilt system to stop you from rolling over to stop you from being knocked over the edge. However, it will put you right on the edge. So when that happens, you need to stand up straight in the game using absolutely no movement of your character. If you move your character at all, then the slightest twitch backward will send you over that final inch to death. Now, that's not a surefire guarantee because sometimes the game doesn't recognize the edge of a cliff. Sometimes the game actually puts you on a slope. And when it puts you on that slope, the game sort of gets confused and doesn't know whether it should drop you off the slope to your death or kind of set you on the edge of it. So it gets hard to tell where the slope is for the game. So sometimes you'll get thrown to the edge just like that, and then because you're on a slope instead of a sheer cliff, you'll just fall off to your... well, not fall off, you'll sort of slide off to your death. So there's a chance that when you just stand up normally, it will still kill you. But that is your best and only option at that point. I'm sort of shocked that I survived. But otherwise, the run's actually going pretty well. And now we're in. Zepho Village Split is going fine-ish. Aside from that one close call. The whole Zepho I've got pretty well locked down, I think. I'm more worried about Dathomir and Kashyyyk later on. I did lose some health there, sort of randomly, so I'm going to rest. To make sure I'm full stimmed, and also buy the final upgrade that I actually want to use, which is Sprint Strike. One of the most useful special abilities in the game. You'll see it in action right around this hill.
Whoa. That's gotta be one of the Zepho. Guess we're on the right track, huh, BD?
Move up! Now! Shoot! Shooting at the target! Possible?
There we go. Dang it, I wanted to rush him to show you what the Sprint Strike looked like. You'll see it on a Scout Trooper probably a little bit farther down the hill.
Well done.
Eventually, I'm going to turn in 100% speedrun of the game, see what I get.
Uncovered more about the Zepho than I once believed possible.
So far, no one's actually done 100% speedrun and turned it in speedrunners.com. I think there might be one or two people working on it. But if they are working on it, then they're not doing it on Twitch, as far as I can tell. And they're also haven't got it to the point where they're happy with it, or at least happy enough to submit it. It's also not glitchless, so at any moment, at any point for the 100% run, I would expect it to be sort of deleted as soon as, even if I did get it first and did set the world record, which would just mean that I'm the only one on the site, I would almost certainly be replaced pretty quickly. Alright, I'm just gonna Sprint Strike him to show you what it looks like. Die. There we go. That's sort of the rub. I think one of the biggest issues with speedrunning is that it requires glitches, or so many games require you to use glitches in order to compete. I don't like using glitches in video games. I just don't. To me, it's cheating. Extremely impressive, and very technically impressive, and they're some of the best runners and most proficient people who play any game. But there still seems, I don't know, something sort of wrong. I don't know. I guess I don't fault them for creating a new challenge if they thought the game itself was too easy, right? They're basically taking the problems of the game, deciding I don't want to mess with these problems. I want to create my own more difficult situation, which is fine. You can do the puzzle board upside down if you want, but I don't know. There's something.
Can't wait to watch these grow.
It's too. What's the word I'm looking for? It's too subjective. Like, what glitch is too big and what is too small. It's done with on individual games, and I think across the board every game should have a glitchless category.
Something we can use.
If you watch a speedrun of this game, for example, Jedi Fallen Order, you'll find that it's very impressive looking, very cool, and you don't get to see Kashyyyk basically at all because they skip most of it, which I think is a shame because Kashyyyk is probably my favorite planet. Just how everything is laid out, how everything looks, it's really gorgeous to look at. Really fun to play. And if you're watching, and I think it's a shame that the best runners in the game don't play it. Whoa. Again, that's not really a strike on them. If they like it, that's, you know, that's sort of their thing. I'm happy for them, yada yada. But I don't think that that should be the only option available if you want to speedrun a game. That's just my 2 cents on the matter anyway.
In accordance with the Emperor's will, we've occupied Zepho, redistributing its inhabitants. This planet has failed to yield significant data or relics for Project Augur. Its electromagnetic winds have rendered the bulk of our mining technology useless. Meanwhile, more stormtroopers lose their lives to dangerous fauna. We will not be able to fulfill our directive here. It is my recommendation that we disband the project and leave a token outpost to keep scavengers from stealing our technology. Moving to engage. Oh, okay. I'll get all the rewards for this.
Help me, B1.
Nice. By the way, if you want updates of my show, it is now episode 2, and the main arresting officer is going to meet with Ted Kaczynski. So, riveting. However, not riveting enough that I will take attention off of the game. Well, I'll take some attention off.
The Empire's pinpointed your location. You need to move fast.
On it. Thanks.
Nice.
These workers lack proper leadership and motivation, which you cannot provide. You're relieved.
Indiana Jones-esque nature of the game is kind of fun. You gotta admit.
You aren't leaving here alive.
Whoa, I've never actually seen that variation on his attack before. What do you mean my force meter's empty? I can see it.
Stay on you.
Ah, what the heck. There we go. Nice.
Hey now. Something was in there.
As you can see, whenever I get a new cosmetic upgrade, I'm equipping it, so to kind of verify that I got it. Although, unfortunately, the pattern I get the boxes in also means that sort of randomly the suits I put on grow, like, more and more weird.
I found something.
What do they know?
No mention of Cordova. I don't think the Empire knows he's been here.
Then we have the advantage. For now.
This is a waste of time. What is Crane playing at? Impossible that anything useful is in here.
This would still be a little spooky if I hadn't done it, like, 50 times.
That's interesting. We're on the right track.
And
There's a storm up ahead.
split.
Something about it crippled the Empire's equipment. I can feel something pulling me there, beyond the storm.
Follow it. Let the force sharpen your insight.
All right. I'll do my best. Okay, I'll look. What's this? Hey now. So what was in there?
Okay. Come on. Go. Miss. And now, sensing the death of his friend, this one runs over. Grab this flower.
These things are pretty cute. Never seen a storm.
I actually
do that
died by
before.
getting caught in this once.
Yeah, it's incredible.
My friend, I believe this to be the earliest Cepho site we've uncovered yet, despite my reservations. I cannot chase the Bogano vault from my mind. Its visions shape the direction of an entire culture. I must understand why.
in the tomb. It's massive.
And the Empire?
No sign of them down here.
What about Cordova?
Still not sure what I'm supposed to find. He's a little...
Eccentric? Tell me about it. But he wouldn't send us here for his amusement. Keep an open mind.
You see that? Ugh.
Alright, so this is the quick and easy solution to the puzzle. Open. Okay, now close it. It'll roll around and run into this wall, which it'll break.
It's not just wind rippling through these chimes. Voices. From the past?
And there you go. Technically, you can come back and do this once you get force push, but that takes extra time. And if there's one thing I hate, it's spending extra time
I think they were training
on this
force
game.
users.
Maximum efficiency, that's my motto. Maximum stubborn efficiency. Ow. Up, close, let it swing back. Try not to miss the rope. It is bad when you miss the rope. Kill your momentum.
What's this? Hey now. What was in there?
My health's a little low, but it would be a waste to use my health stem. Because I'd waste part of it, it would fill up more than my health meter. Timed that too low. back. Again, everything that I do in the run, I do for a specific purpose. The reason I go into that room is because if you don't, you miss exploring the room in the exploration map.
Time for a stim. Close one. Never seen that before.
Evasion is the big one with this guy. Oh, I always like that jumping Jedi flip move.
What's this? I'm looking.
Focus. Jedi do not seek aggression, but we stand against it. The Force is there to shield us. The obstacles in your path define the path. What stands in the way becomes the way. Now, try again. Good. Continue.
That's the end of the episode.
Complete the test.
Ted Kaczynski just finished his first conversation with the main agent. So I'll take a second, and this is something I've been thinking about recently, because the way I watch TV shows is I don't get interested in TV shows necessarily. What I get interested in is topics. And recently, I've noticed that I've been watching a few different shows based primarily around the FBI in the 1990s. The FBI is a fascinating institution. It was founded in the 1920s, and its purpose was to arrest bank robbers. Bank robbers had realized that if you robbed a bank, say in Kansas, and then you crossed state lines, the local state cops couldn't pursue you because it was outside of their jurisdiction. And not only could they not pursue you, they didn't have the resources to pursue you. They didn't know anything about where you would hide. So, if you're a criminal who robbed a bank in Kansas, say you were John Dillinger, you robbed a bank in Kansas or Iowa, you would flee north to a friend of yours who owned a cabin up in Duluth or up around the Northwoods in Minnesota. And absolutely no one can find you. Because while it might be difficult to bribe a cop where a bank just got robbed, you go up to Duluth, you bribe the police up there, and tell them that everything's fine, and then you don't break any laws, and they have no reason to look into you. Not to mention, you sort of blend in well. Even in the 20s, Duluth was becoming well known as sort of a Northwoods getaway location. So that was the main problem the FBI was designed to solve. The FBI is supposed to coordinate with other agencies to track these things down. I'll let this little scene play
My friend,
before continuing.
take a look at the detail on this bark. The distinctive striations. It can only be a roscia tree from Kashyyyk. It's time to call on an old friend. If the Zepho had contact with Kashyyyk, there is a good chance Chieftain Tarful will know about it.
After the era of the bank robbers, the FBI becomes really involved in the Prohibition era, trying to bring down gangsters like Capone, and then eventually the drug empires, and to the point of what the FBI is known as today, which is sort of the jack of all trades. And isn't it interesting that people trust the FBI? And I'm not saying that it's weird that they trust the FBI. I'm saying, isn't it interesting that people trust the FBI generally more than any other police institution? Let's say that someone shows up to your apartment and they say, "Hi, I'm from the CIA." Well, that's scary. That's threatening. That's intimidating. You're, as an American citizen, worried about, well, what possible reason could the CIA have for visiting me, right? If the Department of Homeland Security shows up, that's sort of intimidating. Or the ATF, or any of these other organizations that keep going back and forth and in and out as the wind sort of takes them. But the FBI has always been here, and the FBI is probably the most trusted federal law enforcement division.
You can still feel the hate of the act.
There's a scene in I don't remember the name of the movie, but it starred Mark Wahlberg. It was about the Boston bombing, so it was about the people who tracked down the killer, basically. No, don't roll in there. Oh, this is actually good. I can catch this and take right up. Or not. No, it is going in? What is happening? Oh, good, okay. And the scene, it's still on the devastation, and then up comes 3 black SUVs, right? And out steps the FBI in their windbreakers, and they say, "It's terrorism, we're going to take it." Now that's sort of weird, right? You'd think by specialization that something like
since it was part of some type of training ritual for Zepho Force
Department of Homeland Security would take a scene like that and be the main officers. But sort of everyone sort of believes in America that the FBI is the best. That if you want the really serious people to investigate a crime scene, it's the FBI. So it was very interesting for me to watch a show on Netflix called Wake Up, which was a miniseries, a 6-episode miniseries that came out quite a few years, I think a few years ago. Maybe 2016 sounds right. About the Waco disaster. We'll call it the Waco disaster. Where a series of where a number of Branch Davidians basically locked themselves in a house in Texas. There was a standoff. Depending on who you ask, it's either... Depending on who you ask, it's a hostage crisis. And it basically tragically results in the deaths of most of the Branch Davidians involved, thanks to a fire that spreads through the compound. Which some would say the Branch Davidians set themselves in some sort of mass suicide pact, and some would say the FBI accidentally set by using flammable tear gas to fill the house.
My friend, this too is utterly fascinating.
So my point isn't, and we still don't know, by the way, what really happened. It's still debated, and there are people who strongly will tell you this one thing happened for sure, or it didn't happen. But I think it is still curious on how the relationship between law enforcement, especially law enforcement like the FBI, changes with America as the country changes. Because I think if you asked someone in the 80s what they thought of the FBI, they would say something very different. They would say something different from someone in the 90s, right after the Waco crisis, right after Ruby Ridge. What do you think of the FBI? And in the 2000s, you would say something different, and now you say something different as well in the year 2020. Do I want to buy any skills? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. What do I want? I want maximum life, improved stims, and greater force attunement. Easy. Done. Let's go.
We just opened the way for the Empire.
I see an intruder up there. I need a moment. Oh, it's shaking. Yeah, someone else take a hit.
Whoa. Who hit me with that? I didn't even see it. That's fine. I want to take out the guy shooting with you with laser because he can disrupt you from opening the chest. I was, and I suppose part of this also is related to how on the way to my house, to my apartment today, I noticed a cop SUV behind me. Right. And I sort of, you know, I check the speedometer.
Getting a strange feeling from this.
You know, I make sure I'm not breaking any traffic rules or regulations. But then you sort of feel this tension, like, uh-oh, I better not misbehave. There's a wariness there, right? And I think the more I've thought about it, and the tension between law enforcement and people in this country, by the way, some of which people have more right to feel more tension than others, I think is obvious.
Identify yourself. Incoming threat. They can't all be can they?
It sort of made me wonder about the connection of the police to fear, because there's sort of two. There's two very, you know, politically sided ideas of the police. You know, there's one-sided that's the police are 100% here to protect you, and they're here, and they would never ever railroad you, and they would never ever do anything to harm an innocent citizen, and they'd never take a bribe, they never do this, and sort of like the police officer you get on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, right? Who's you know, the reassuring presence. The person you're like, oh man, you know, if you're in trouble, if you're really in trouble, you can run to a police station, and there you will be safe. Right? And then there's the other side of that, which is the sort of Waco image, right? The militarized police. Whoa, I forgot about you. Yeah, that was. I mean, it's a good thing I didn't die there. The militarized police, right? Who are sometimes scary. Sometimes you hear about corruption rings that get broken. Sometimes you hear about, you know, sort of the law taken too far, right? Where it's an us versus them mentality, and we've all seen cop movies or cop shows like that. We've all seen the shows like The Wire, or at least one show like The Wire, even if you haven't seen The Wire.
What are you doing here?
But the challenging thing about that is I think both dynamics sort of exist, and at sort of a certain mentality, it's a good thing that both sort of exist, and that the truth is sort of in the middle, and that we live with both aspects of how the police are reassuring and scary at the same time, right? Like a warm blanket and threatening at the same time.
Found you, intruder. I'm watching you. Talk all you want. I only need a few hits.
And it is sort of hypocrisy on our part. It is unfair of us to ask the police to be a warm blanket, right, that is able to sort of comfort us and help us out and make us feel protected, and at the same time actually protect us, right? Because those two are not always the same thing. And obviously there's a balance there that has to be found. The United States, I think, wisely does not want to go the same route as Israel went. Right? In Israel, there is long been rumors of some sort of, like, almost like a CIA death squad, where if you commit a crime, an act of terrorism against the state of Israel, they will hunt you down and hunt your family down and stuff like that. At least it was, I remember, sort of looking into that. Not a great deal, but a little bit about the Munich incident, right, where a group of Israeli athletes at the Olympics were killed by terrorists. And there were rumors that the other members of the terrorist groups were later hunted down and taken out, I suppose would be the best way to say it. That's not warm, cuddly protection. That's scary protection. That should be this whole area done. So I guess if we want... So I guess so many people have problems with the police, and yet don't even know what they want with the police.
Does that mean?
Right?
The Emperor is interested in Zepho? Maybe.
Villager was wounded, but took out a trooper.
You can't have it. You can't have it both ways. You can't only support the legal system, as inefficient and laborious and slow as it might be, and you can't only support cops when it's your case, and then at the same time watch movies like John Wick, or watch movies like Die Hard, or anything about some sort of vigilante vigilante killer who takes matters into his own hands, and say, man, I wish things went like that. No, you don't wish things went like that. It's a good thing that there is an order. It is a good thing that there is a law protecting us that is unwilling to do that. And it is extremely inefficient sometimes. And it does mean that some criminals get let off. Sometimes. Sometimes justice, whatever justice means, is not done because of our system.
I don't know. Why?
But what's the alternative?
Classic.
Seriously, what is the alternative? To have a police system sort of like the original Batman show's police system, where you have, I don't know, an overweight and obese James Gordon, and then and an ineffectual, was it Scottish or Irish police captain, who both of them are literally incapable of doing anything, and to solve any crisis, the only thing they can do is call Batman. Is that the answer? I don't think so. We want no need for Batman. Whoa. Woohoo, nice dodge.
Toss it.
Oh, screw you.
Hope reinforcements are on the way.
There we go. Done. Damn it. And then on the other side, you get a police system that is brutally efficient at dispatching criminals, but sort of has problems seeing who's the criminal and who's not. And then you just end up with these guys right here that I've just killed with a lightsaber, since I'm a heroic rebel fighting against the system, and the system is the stormtroopers, right? That's the other side of the equation. So if you want to know what my prescription is for the police, I honestly could not tell you. I think it's good that they have body cameras. I think that's, that helps with accountability, and also creates the possibility of way more real-life cop shows. But and there's definitely maybe holes in the system that can be patched. But I think we should cut the law enforcement like the FBI, even though it does occasionally in a decade militarize way beyond where it should be and use force way too often to disastrous effects, and sometimes take forever to solve a crime. And sometimes even arrest the wrong guy. We should cut them a little bit of slack, because if we were doing the job ourselves, I'm not sure we would do a lot better. In fact, it's highly likely that we would do way, way, way worse.
There could be useful intel inside.
I'll try to find a way to it. The villagers built this memorial to the clones from the Venator. See him? Empire isn't the only thing we have to worry about.
People sometimes, even still, quote Waco as an example of why law enforcement is corrupt or militarized or any number of horrible adjectives. But the FBI and the ATF did learn from that incident.
Something smells like old oil.
They rewrote their guidelines, in fact,
Sorry, buddy, not you.
to ensure that something like that wouldn't happen again. And I can't say that it won't ever happen again.
He was killed by a cave-in. Imperial excavation is making these tunnels unstable. Nice job. They got a lot further than we thought.
We can't worry about that now. The Empire's identified you as the Jedi from Bracca. They're searching for the Mantis as we speak.
Can't you move the Mantis?
It's too risky to start the engine. Its power discharge will draw their attention immediately.
I'll be back as fast as I can.
What is the phrase? The wheels of justice are slow? Or no, the wheels of justice turn slowly. I think we should be grateful that the wheels of justice turn at all, because they certainly didn't need to be. We live in a democracy where people are protected, right? 1,000 years ago, if you were suspected of a crime, one way that they judged your innocence was they would drop a scalding iron bar in your hand.
I'm on my way.
And if it didn't burn you, then you were innocent. Or they'd put you in a bag and dump you in a river. And if you drowned, you were guilty. And if you floated, you were innocent. One of the lessons I've given as a teacher is on the Salem witch trials, right? Where eyewitness testimony is allowed of some eyewitnesses say that people in the village turned into birds and flew away, and that's allowed as evidence.
Nice work out there, kid. Hey, you got some real moves on you. Just tell me that this visit...
I found the tomb of the Zepho sage. They definitely used the Force.
An advanced civilization of Force wielders who mysteriously vanished. No wonder Master Cordova became successful. What else did you find?
Before they disappeared, the Zepho journeyed to the planet Kashyyyk. Cordova had a Wookiee friend named Tarkin. Maybe we can find him.
I'm done for now.
Things are really bad down there. The Empire's muscling in on
Let's see what the next episode has in store.
So we better get ready for a fight.
I think this lifestyle suits you. Fighting that walker seems to have made you more confident. So, how are you holding up?
And with the Force?
Yes, with the Force. I know you said it could be overwhelming.
I haven't gotten myself killed yet. Rather not talk about it.
Yeah, well, I understand. More than you realize.
Why'd you choose to stop using the Force?
When the Purge started, and our clone troops turned against us, my Padawan and I took several younglings and we went into hiding. But we didn't last long. Imperial Patrol was about to discover our location, so I tried to lure them away from my Padawan Trilla. She stayed behind with the younglings. But they caught me. And they tortured me. They wanted to know about the others and how many were left, but mostly they wanted to know about Cordova and where he went.
But you escaped.
It was a prison riot. I saw my opportunity and I took it. But they almost broke me. And I am not the same as I was, Cal.
Your Padawan. Did she survive?
No. But that's why we can't give up. We can't let the sacrifice of those closest to us be for nothing. Give me a minute. I'm siphoning Imperial data.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm great. Just enjoying some peace and quiet.
Cordova had supplies hidden all over Bogotto. Could be worth a trip.
En route to Kashyyyk. So, if the Order thing is rebuilt, you think any Jedi will come out of hiding?
What makes you think there are Jedi hiding?
No, just curious.
Is there someone specific you're thinking of?
Well, growing up, we heard tales of a green, pointy-eared, legendary Jedi master.
Are you talking about Master Yoda? Yes, he is.
Wait, what? Who? No, I'm talking about Master Yaddle.
The Jedi High Council member?
Yeah, we all have our dreams, okay? Let me have mine.
No problem.
Get over here, kid. We're about to land.
Tell me we're not running that blockade.
Oh, only as a last resort. I've rigged the Mantis' transponder to transmit Imperial signals. Hey, Grease.
Yeah.
Keep your power signature low and act like we belong.
Just like Braca. No strength. I don't need another set of hands. Just please keep your eye on the scanner.
All right.
Please.
All right.
All right.
I don't see anything.
You're preoccupied with something on the ground. We're clear.
That doesn't look good.
The Empire is devouring Kashyyyk for its natural resources. Wookiees have been enslaved or displaced.
walkers?
Guerrilla fighters. Wookiees and off-worlders ambushing an Imperial convoy.
Walkers approaching their position.
Tarful could be with them.
Alpha could be anywhere. Like deep in the ground, like we're gonna be if we get caught up in that battle down there.
We don't have any other options. And they'll die without our help.
So what's your plan?
Sabotage. We used to scrap walkers on Braca. I'll just jack one.
Get a load of the kid. He thinks we're back in the Clone Wars.
Captain, get us near those walkers.
Wait, what?
Listen, those walkers double as troop transport, so once you get inside, be careful.
No freeze grease to work his magic.
Hey, do me a favor. Stay alive down there.
I'll add it to the plan.
Right, if you're jumping, you better do it now, kid.
Swim, BD! You ready to do this? Wonder how we get inside. Yeah, I'll try the leg.
One of my favorite scenes in the whole game right here.
Okay, now where? Almost there. Thanks, BD. Let's climb to the top.
There's no pulse. Your turn to report fatalities. It's the Jedi! Jedi is here! Keep your distance! I can't fight anymore!
Nice. Easy.
Reading a new ship on scanners. They brought more firepower than we thought. How's our hull looking? Badly damaged. We're at 70% integrity and falling. That should still be enough to...
It actually worked. Okay, throttle.
Report, what's happening over there? You're in violation of Imperial
Shut
Protocol
that guy up.
207. Stand down or we will...
Let's do this. That's a lot of lasers. Let's move forward.
Blowing up stuff.
Hey! Who are you?
Someone who just brought an AT-AT to the table. Who are you?
Someone making the Empire angry. We're advancing on the Imp landing pad up ahead. Wouldn't mind fire support.
Copy that. Let's make him even angrier. Let's clear him out.
spam shots into this thing until it explodes. Hello, Kylo Ren 888.
It's headed for us. Can you do anything? Hold on! Brace yourself, BD! Yeah, I'm okay. You all right?
Yes and no.
Not doing that again.
This run won't be submittable, but I want to make sure it ends up around the 10-hour mark. Eventually, I'll be submitting this run, but it's not good enough yet.
What are you doing on Kashyyyk?
Looking for somebody. What are you doing here?
My companions and I came to Kashyyyk to disrupt Imperial supply lines.
For right now, I'm focusing on the Deathless aspect of it. Get a good Deathless run done with the complete campaign.
So, who are you looking for? Tough. There's a reason he's invaded the Empire for this long.
He's a freedom fighter?
He's the freedom fighter. A symbol of the Wookiee resistance. Striking at the Empire from the Shadowlands.
Seer? Grease? This is Saul.
How you doing?
What do you want with Toph?
Jedi business.
Jedi are dead.
Not all of them.
Get that over corpse?
The Master gave it to me.
This pad supports an Imperial refinery that runs on Wookiee slave labor. Intel suggests that some of the captives there are guerrilla fighters.
I should help them. One of them might know how to contact Tarful.
It's possible.
Whoa, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. The Mantis works wonders. I mean, it's a great ship, excellent pilot, but it is not built for close support.
We'll stay here and monitor Imperial transmissions. With a bit of luck, we'll intercept any distress calls.
Appreciate it. My lieutenants and I will scout ahead to prepare the attack. Join us when you're ready. Go, go.
Glad you're all right.
Yeah, good to see you too. This place is a dump.
Your plan worked. And now you want to follow Saul.
What do you think of Saul's plan?
He's fighting a losing battle. I doubt freedom for the Wookiees is his only goal.
He seems trustworthy.
He might prove to be. But there's more going on here than we know.
And don't forget the Empire fights dirty. Watch your tail in that refinery, kid.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
When you want to go, let me know. I'll be right here.
Either of you heard the Parsons?
Rumors and cantinas, but not much to go on.
They call them radicals. Yeah, I heard the Empire's got bounties on their heads.
Should I be worried about the bounties?
Huh. I doubt it. War zones are bad for business.
If the rumors are even true.
Do you think the Inquisitors will find us here?
It's possible.
You better hope not. We barely made it here.
Well, we couldn't leave the Parsons and Wookiees to die.
Cal, your instincts are good, but that's not within your control. We can do our part. That's it. Good luck in there.
She's in no condition to fight. You're right. There's no time. Stay strong until we get back.
Heard Saw's hoping to find some news of Tarful at the refinery. A report came in this morning that he's been seen in the Shadowlands. serial transmission pinned near a Wookiee village. There are hundreds of those in the area. Stormtroopers.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the length of some of the audio conversations, so I've got to go headphones on for this section.
Oh, all right then. What do we find? Great.
Over here. Could be supplies inside this walker.
You okay?
I'm fine. Phew. I'm fine. Maybe a little rude, but it's not so bad.
Don't scare me like that. I need you around.
Let's keep looking. There must be something useful in this heap.
Hey, thanks. Says there's nothing here.
You know binary? You never told me that.
That's the basics I picked up in school.
Thank you much, little one. We'll wait for Saw's signal.
If anything goes wrong with this plan, we're finished.
Mari's mapped out the nearest garrisons. The Empire won't have time to send reinforcements. We'll be okay.
If we can do it quick.
Saw's seen us through worse.
I've got nothing but respect for that man, but this isn't a forest skirmish. I hope we're ready.
Get the scanner off on the Gonk droid.
Things are even worse here than on Zepho.
Did you say Zepho?
I used to live there before the Empire came. Do you know it?
Yeah, I've been.
Hello, John Morton.
It's horrible what happened.
We weren't able to fight back, but here, with the Wookiees, we have a chance. Thank you for standing with us.
The Deathless run is going well so far.
Memories of someone named.
In that I haven't died.
My partner. He distracted the stormtroopers so I could escape with our daughter. He was always impulsive. Is he...
Yeah. I found his body.
Part of me wanted to believe he escaped.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be. I'm glad I know the truth. We can't allow the Empire to destroy more worlds.
What'd you find? Saw should be at the other end of this trench.
I have many times. The 20 number you see on my live splits is actually wrong. It's actually more than 20. Spider. Perfect. Instant kill.
Thanks for the help. How much current can you conduct? Well, with this transformer, I bet you can short-circuit Imperial tech. Let's try it.
Okay, well, I'm at this point conflicted about the game. So here are my basic thoughts about how the game is, what it is, sort of that thing. I still do enjoy the game. I still do really like it. If you repeat anything enough times, eventually it becomes boring. But I still think the game is really, really good. I see the value in it, absolutely.
What? Some help here, BD1?
For one thing, the game looks absolutely beautiful. It does. It looks gorgeous. The score is really good, even though I can't hear it at the moment. I've heard it many times. The story, I think, is fine, if a little bit anticlimactic.
What does the Empire want with tree sap?
Nothing good.
I think it fits in with Star Wars canon very well, which as a Star Wars fan was a big concern of mine. But there's no plot holes, it all fits in continuity. It throws in characters like Saw Gerrera, but doesn't see the need to shove characters in your face that were already pre-existing.
These refineries double as prison camps. We use those cutters to
The
create...
gameplay mechanics are pretty good, very Dark Souls-esque. It's more like Baby's first Dark Souls, I guess would be the right way to say it.
Understood.
Watch yourself in there.
You hear that? Someone needs my help. Come on, buddy.
I don't think the Wookiees look bad. They don't really focus on them too much. And I don't know, when you see Rebels Wookiees, everything else looks better.
It's more ruthless than I
To
realized.
tell you the truth. I do have a couple gripes though, and these are just minor gripes because I think the game is really good. First off, I don't like the skill system. There's a lot of skills that are basically worthless. Especially a lot of the later skills. Lightsaber throw is basically garbage. And generally, I think as you get more skills, you should become more OP, but that's not really what happens. There's only like one or two very valuable end game skills that you learn, and the rest are just kind of not worth having. So to get the 100% credit for the end of the game, which is where you need all skills, it's sort of not exciting to do that. In fact, it feels like a really serious grind in exchange for literally nothing.
Gotta slice this. One way to do it.
The different customization options are fine. I like that you can build your own lightsaber. I think that was really good. I like the Inquisitors being villains. It serves the game extremely well. I guess if I had one... There's all the glitches, which I should mention that the game is very glitchy. But I think if there's one thing that I really can mention, it's that it plays it super safe. There's never anything really shocking that happens. Right? There's no massive risks it takes with the story. Right? Order 66 is sort of scary, but you knew it was coming the whole game. I thought they were going to do it when it looks like they've killed off Seer. But then, of course, that is revealed to be that she didn't die, that everyone's rescued. Basically, everyone's rescued, everyone makes it out safe. The only person they kill in the whole game is Proc, at the beginning. Your friend, who you sort of know is going to die.
Keep moving, Jedi. Vents open. Go.
No friends betray you. All the story beats are sort of hit in their turn. And I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't want something to be in the game just to be shocking with no other purpose. But at the same time, I did feel like they played it safe with this part. Maybe hopefully they'll decide to take a few more risks with the second part. I think that would be really fun. Oh, it's on fire. Back up. I think a second game of this would be really, really good.
This door's not budging. Well, that was helpful. Oh, all right then. So what was in this?
There's not any massive innovations. I don't know. It feels like a really, really fun, good Star Wars game. But there's nothing like that. There's nothing that feels innovative about it in terms of gaming in general. There's nothing that feels innovative in terms of Star Wars. It's sort of a really good by-the-numbers film or by-the-numbers book, you know?
That's why you wanted to move this thing. You had no idea that was there, did you? You just wanted to turn the cutter on.
I don't know. I guess I just sort of feel like George Lucas after he read the script for Force Awakens, which was actually like Bob Iger actually talked about it in his biography. He explained what it was like when George Lucas read the script for Force Awakens. And I think it's actually really funny because George Lucas basically said after he read the script, there's not a lot new here, you know. And then there isn't. Force Awakens just rehashes Episode 4 and just redoes the movie basically. Which isn't bad. I think Force Awakens is a fine, perfectly reasonable, self-contained film that's not innovative and doesn't bring anything new to the franchise. And that's sort of the way I feel about this game. That it's really well made, really gorgeous to look at, really fun. It's fun to play, but there's nothing. There's nothing new that it adds. So now that they're being given the chance to make a second one, I really hope that they. That they sort of, you know, use the opportunity to do something, I don't know, not exactly like massively bold or outrageous. You know, I think Last Jedi took the lessons of Force Awakens and oh, dang it. I might be in trouble here. And massively swung the pendulum to the other side. But I think a slight... What the... This thing's bugging out. No pun intended. There we go. Hit. Good. Oh, that was badly timed.
BD1?
Dang it. Come on. Die. Just die.
Stay here. Moving out.
Oh, like Star Wars in general. Well, for one thing, I think that it's okay that this was just good. There's been that this was just really good. There's been obviously a lot of controversy about Star Wars games in the last 5 years, ranging from bad to what was it? Ranging from good, this to bad to ugly. Oh, I killed the albino ice truck. So if they want to just kind of take it easy on the innovation for a game, then I'm sort of fine with that. Oh wow, a lot of them survived. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Really? Yeah, in your face. There we go.
Wonder if Grease can
That should be
cook
fine.
cookies.
Yeah, I guess I can just take this time. So I think the
So what was in there?
the Star Wars movies were disappointing in a long myriad of ways that I'm sure if you want to, you can find literally any YouTube video about. Just like pick one at your leisure and watch it, and it's probably going to. And if that particular one doesn't appeal to you, then just choose another one, and you'll find it at some point. So I'm not going to add too much to the movies, other than that I thought they weren't great. What I do want to mention is how amazing current Star Wars content is, right? And how really awesome the Star Wars content we're getting is. I watched Mandalorian and thought it was one of the best shows I'd ever seen. It was super great. It was an amazing Star Wars property. I thought the ending was I thought the last episode was a triumph of Star Wars awesomeness. And then you get this game, which came out around the same time, which I have loved enough to play a minimum of 20 times. I've actually played it more than the number you see on my live split. I probably played it like 40 times, because I made a new live split like halfway through the process. That might be too low. No, I'm good.
So far, almost.
And then, of course, right now we're getting Clone Wars, which I thought was sort of like fine. Okay, I won't talk about it. I won't talk about the last episode, so you can watch that whenever you want. Or at least here's what I'll do. I'll wait. I assume you're not. I would love for you to stay for the entire stream, but I assume at some point you're going to leave the next 10 hours. So I won't say anything other than like I'm very happy about it, and it's basically what I've been sort of like. You know, some of the arcs I thought were okay. You did some fun arcs with clones. Fun, you know. You did some fun arcs with like Ahsoka's adventures in random Coruscant, whatever. Okay, sure.
No guards.
You could have used it in season 3, but you know it's here now, so fine. But this is these final episodes are what I've been waiting for. This is it. This is the whole deal.
We're here to free you.
And not the last episode, but the one before that, episode 9, where they sort of showed off Obi-Wan and Anakin, was one of my favorite intros any Star Wars thing ever. And I couldn't be more excited. So I think it's sort of bad manners to talk about the movies at this point, because the other things we're getting are so good. Whoa. I think it's almost a little disrespectful, if that makes sense. Oh, just die. Although, wait, if you live in Germany, then the time zone is very different. I'm Central Standard Time in the Midwest, which means that it's 2:30 in the morning where I am. And I'm not working because of COVID, so which is why I'm doing a super, super, super duper late stream, basically an all-nighter, if I do well.
Glad to help.
You know, so maybe, you know, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I loved it. I don't know if I'd call it my favorite Clone Wars episode of all time, because there's some that are just so good.
Alright, let's help these Wookiees get back in the fight. Great work, Jedi.
But I think it's likely that at the end of this arc, of these four finale episodes,
Wookiee died from toxic.
that I will think this is the best arc in the Clone Wars. I find it hard to imagine that it won't be at this point. It's 9:28 in the morning. Nice. I appreciate the writing in English, by the way. I used to have a German pen pal in middle school and high school.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Who I would communicate with. And he was working towards his degree. And he actually had a weird deal where he ended up getting his degree through, I think, Ramstein Air Force Base. So he basically had to take, to get his degree. It was interesting. He was a homeschooler, which is sort of on a dubious political stance in Germany. So he ended up having to take his SAT through Ramstein Air Force Base, or whatever the German equivalent of it was, which meant it was in English that he had to take it, which kind of blew my mind. It's hard enough. Taking tests is scary enough. If it was in another language, I would not be able to handle it. Get off the bridge. He always misses that, even when I want him to hit me. I want him to just hit me so I can block it, but he doesn't. I don't know. Alright. Alright, but John Morton, I would absolutely recommend the latest episode of the Clone Wars. It was really good.
Scanning again?
Perfect time for Disney Plus, by the way. All these shows are coming out now when literally the whole world has nothing to do. I don't know, my intercultural experiences have been weird my whole life. Just really weird. I did a trip to Poland when I was in high school. I think I was 14 or 15. And I went to high school with my, Poland with my dad. As part of like an aid trip. We were basically working at a summer camp teaching English to local Polish kids, and he was teaching English to adults. Which was sort of beneficial for us, which was sort of beneficial to them, I guess, because we were just, fluent English speakers, so we just were told to show up and just talk it, have conversations in English, which we could do, But what surprised me was I was sort of trained on like culture shock, and you're gonna experience all these things, and it's gonna be like a whole different deal. And I go there, and my mom calls me while we had made a supply run to pick up some things for the camp. And she was like, "What are you doing? Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, we're in Sears in Poland." She was like, "What's it like?" I'm like, "Have you ever been in a Sears? It's like that. Except it's exactly like that. It looked the same in every way. Every Sears I'd ever been in, and it was eerie because just the signs weren't in English, but otherwise it all looked the same, and I was like, okay, not much difference there. I had a great conversation with some Polish kids my age. We were just talking, and I was trying to think of, and we started like trading sort of jokes. And I was trying to think of a good joke, but I was a 14-year-old American kid with no good sense of humor, none at all. And what happened was, I was like, a sort of, hesitatingly, have you ever heard of Chuck Norris? And both of the kids were like, oh yeah, Chuck Norris! And they knew who he was, which freaked me out. But then for the next, 45 minutes, we stayed up all night just sharing, well, not all, I guess we were up for like an hour and a half. We were just up sharing random Chuck Norris jokes. And it blew my mind because the Chuck Norris jokes it had were like really good, and I'd never heard them. I'll share you one. I'll share you one that this kid, I think his name was Tibik, shared with me. He said it was let's see if I want to get this right. Oh yeah, doctors listened to the beat of Chuck Norris's heart and invented techno music. which was really funny, and I laughed at it. I don't know. People, I don't know. I think people nowadays more pretend the culture is really different, when in reality it's just the same. Okay, this might be bad. Crap, I'm gonna run out of force. Okay, this is the worst attack in the history of attacks. This flamethrower. Sorry, I need to focus for a second, or I could die. And forward. Okay, good. He bumped into him. Okay, I got one. Thank God. Get out of my way. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna build up some force on this guy. There. Now I have one push left. Just die. There we go. Sorry about that. I hate those things. Oh, you're right. I suppose I could have. But yeah, I don't want to tell you too much about the episode, man. If you haven't seen it yet. But yes, the fight between Ahsoka and Maul is everything that you would want it to be.
Get ready, buddy.
Jedi! We don't have the firepower to breach this hole.
We're on it.
The trick with the ATST is to not target lock it, because you always want to be looking at the heads. If you target lock it and move your directional stick at all, it goes to the legs, which is really dumb, because you should never target lock the legs. You know, you want to be able to see where the attacks are coming from. Oh. Nice. Oh yes, back up against a wall, please. Idiot. No, I'm a little low. Whoa, I'm really low. Oh crap. How low is he? Oh, good. He's done.
Everyone! These have been hard years. We've lost comrades, friends, family to the Empire. Dark times. And yet the fire
Really?
still burns.
That is weird.
Hope.
They gotta release Last Mandalorian episode. It's awesome.
The Jedi are not yet lost. We are not yet lost. Kashyyyk is not yet lost. For the cause! You've seen what the Empire has done to Kashyyyk. These stories are playing out all over the galaxy. My partisans could use a Jedi on our side.
I'm honored. We have our own mission I can't walk away from. Not yet.
The offer stands. Keep it in mind.
Cal, I'm Mari Kosan, and this is Commander Choisik.
Sorry. I'm not quite fluent.
Choisik says he'll do whatever he can to find Tarful and vouch for you.
Do you think he's still alive?
Have faith, Cal. We'll be in touch with your ship. For the cause.
You know Tarful?
He was part of Tarful's crew, but got captured on a mission. Tarful couldn't risk more warriors to save him. He spent months in that refinery.
Choisic will help you find Tarful. They're always on the move. Could take some time.
That's all I can ask. Thank you.
Good to have you on our side.
Seems like Saw's willing to do whatever it takes.
He has his own way of doing things, yes. But these are dire times. We need leadership like Saw's.
Even when it means risking your lives?
Someone has to stand up to the
She's still
Empire.
talking? Jeez. Okay.
I admire that.
And we have something in common. Safe journey, Cal. We'll be in touch.
Yep. Okay.
We did it.
By the skin of our teeth.
The Mandalorian is episodic.
I know.
It's very by the episode. There's only like a few connected episodes in the whole thing, but I think that's actually good. And this is why. It's something new for Star Wars. Star Wars portrays itself as like one extended story, right? Just like one everything's connected. Everything revolves around a few focal points.
Glad we could help the Wookiees.
There's massive events that happen in it that are galaxies shaking, right, in their fabric. We're seeing the same thing in the Clone Wars. It's revolving now around the start of the Clone Wars to Order 66.
You've been fighting for so long. Have you learned anything?
Which sort of makes sense, and it makes sense that there's a long connected storyline with people with revolving character arcs and all that stuff. The Mandalorian is much more like sort of a Western, where you have almost like a Monster of the Week format, or like it's basically like a Job of the Week format, which I think actually services the Mandalorian way better than any other potential option.
What's your count on?
I think
Because that is innovative for Star Wars. It is weird.
you gotta catch up.
It's not normal. There's no interconnected storyline. Not really. There's a little bit, but
Justice for what they did to your home.
in most ways that matter, it's much more separated.
Happened to yours, happened to mine.
I need to charge this.
And I actually, and somewhat strikingly, I actually really hope that they do that as well for the second season. That maybe you can, have a few connected episodes. The first episode be connected, the last one be connected, a couple in the middle maybe, sure. But I really like that it's just sort of the new mission of the day. Yeah, and it's finding out about the fate of the universe. It's about the fate of like one kid who may or may not be a clone of Yoda, or Yoda's kid, or a member of Yoda's species, or, you know, who knows what. And maybe we'll never even find out. How awesome would that... And this is an episode where I actually don't really care that much about the origin. You know, maybe we won't find out that this kid's some sort of galaxy-changing event. You know? And if one day we get a Force-wielding Yoda Mandalorian clad in armor, I would be super happy with that too. IGN just released a really funny YouTube parody of like a teenage Yoda who gives the Mandalorian like the middle finger and is like eating Doritos and he's got a Groot figurine. Just really funny. He's like vaping or something.
Hey, Seer.
Cal.
But I think everything's sort of coming together. We've got a really good villain that I think is very, very cool.
It wasn't for nothing. Mari and Choisic will come through.
But yeah, I'm excited where it brings us, and if it doesn't bring us anywhere that's that important in the big scheme of things, I would be fine with that. I would be completely fine with that.
You saved lives today. Don't forget that.
Thanks.
We'll talk later.
So I think the first season of Mandalorian has been wonderful. And I really can't wait for the next season to see what they do, where they go from here.
Sure, Grace. Whatever you say.
Empire might have found a Zepho tomb. We can't waste any time.
Heard about a high-stakes game from one of Saw's fighters. A few extra credits couldn't hurt, you know?
We don't see any classic westerns anymore.
Please use your head. One of these days, the Haxian brood is going to catch up with you.
Those slubs? I'll hear them coming from a parsec away.
I don't need your gambling habit causing us more trouble with murderous criminal syndicates.
You're right, I know it. I just want to blow off some stress every once in a while, you know? Anyway, all of that is in the past. I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Nice.
We're about to drop out of hyperspace. Sit down. Yeah, you and me, we're unstoppable together. Don't you think, kid, huh? The man is in greaves, every time, perfect landing.
You could say that.
Ever piloted a ship before?
No, mostly just scrapper transports in Braca.
Oh, kid, you gotta get in the cockpit sometime. Feel the controls in your hands and the galaxy in your grasp. Oh, it's unbelievable.
That's good. Let me know when.
Huh? No, not mine. Not the Manus, no way. I'm just saying you should try it sometime. But with someone else's ship.
What's up, Grease?
Remember that scout walker you took down?
The ATST?
Yeah. You got up close and personal, right?
What are you getting at, Grease?
How's about you liberate one of those things from the Empire, and I take it for a spin?
Oh. You gonna help me out next time we're in a fight?
What? No. No way. It's always fighting with you. Forget I said anything.
Storm worrying you?
Nah. There's a lot of things that bother me. The Empire, deadly creatures, poorly cooked burrowfish. But when I'm in my ship, it's all breezy greasy.
Good to know. We've got a lot more flying ahead of us.
Right. No need to keep reminding me, though. Can I have a moment with my ship?
There's a long journey ahead of us. These ancient tombs didn't survive all this time because they were easy to find.
It's a challenge I'm willing to take.
I can see that. I'm glad you believe in what we're trying to accomplish.
I always have. Ever since I was a youngling, I trusted in the Force. Those names on the list, they're a test. And I believe I will succeed.
I like your confidence. A journey like this one can challenge you in ways you've never been before.
I understand. I think I'm ready.
We've got your back, Cal.
Homeworld of the Zepho. Cordova must have spent a lot of time here.
Cordova spent his life studying the history of the galaxy in many different places. Dragged me along on a few expeditions. It was educational.
You really believed in the past?
He believed in the future. But you can't have a future without the past.
You think Grease is putting bets on if we succeed or not?
Cal, I take responsibility for him. You have nothing to worry about.
Say so.
When I found Grease, he was in a lot of debt with the Brood. I paid it off. All of it. At least I thought so.
We all have our problems.
Yes, I suppose we do. Zepho clues could be anywhere on this planet. There's much to do.
Alright, there's an interesting aspect to The Mandalorian that I want to mention, because this sort of goes with, this actually goes along really well with what I was explaining about the shows I'm watching at the moment. And this also goes with what's innovative for Star Wars. What, right? What's new? And what have we done before? I think that what we're experiencing right now with The Mandalorian is that it is a Western. But it's not just a Western in the same... It's not just a Western. The Mandalorian is a specific type of Western. It's actually a gunslinger cop show Western. And I have to explain myself, because the idea that the Mandalorian show is actually a cop show in disguise takes a little explaining. So the theory basically states that there's 4 types of cop shows. And I'll start with the... And all of them explain different aspects of how the justice system is perceived. And how the show tries to deal with it. Or movie. This can refer to movies as well. Alright, so the basic idea, and I'll start... And they're divided up into geographic regions. Because for whatever reason... people in these geographic regions tend to like these specific cop shows. Don't ask me why this is. But I think it's generally true. Okay. The first type of cop show to know is called the Northern. The Northern style cop show is something like, a little bit like Fargo. It's a little bit like... actually, the best possible example of a Northern cop show is Law and Order. If you've ever seen Law and Order, or if you've never seen Law and Order, I'll briefly explain what the show is for you. The show basically just deals with a specific crime, which is solved by the detectives, brought to trial, and then sentenced. So you see the whole process in the span of an hour-long TV show. And in this TV show, it portrays the detectives as smart, or intelligent, witty, and efficient. They're good detectives. You see the prosecutors as smart, efficient. They're good prosecutors. And it's a little... And the idea is the law is the good guys in all situation.
Must have cleared out to search for the tomb.
A Northern cop show is one where the justice system works like it's supposed to.
The Empire doesn't give up ground.
It works like it's supposed to.
I feel it too.
The second type of cop... Hang on, I gotta focus for a second because I could die here.
That's the way.
And stop.
All right. After all the crazy things
And stop. Good. Okay, that was actually really good. The second type of cop show is an Eastern. In an Eastern, you have a corrupt justice system. Whoa. Ah. Crap. I'm not gonna die, but... Good, I'm invincible. Sorry. In an Eastern, you have a broken system, a broken police system that's solved from the inside. So an example of this would be like The Wire, which takes place in Baltimore, where the whole system is grimy. There are dirty cops, there are cops taking bribes, the system is really broken, and you need a cop on the inside of the system to take it over. Or you need a cop on the inside, sort of a grimy, dirty cop himself or herself, to solve the problems that exist within that system. That's an Eastern cop show. A Southern cop show is where the system is still grimy, it's still broken, but in this case, it's not solved internally. There's no cop inside the system who tries... dang it, I'm an idiot. Can I get back down this way? Oh, thank goodness. Down. down, please. Is there a button I need to hit? Excuse me. Go outside. Go back inside. I guess I need to slide down again? I don't like sliding down here an extra time, but whatever. But anyway, it's this grimy, dirty system where it's solved by someone from the outside. So an example of this would be like Jack Reacher, where you need someone pure of heart to reach into this horrible system and change it for the better. Now the final one, which is what I believe The Mandalorian is, it's a Western cop show. Because in a Western cop show, there is no justice. There is no legal system. In all the places that he visits, there is no authority. There's no police officers. There's no sheriffs. There's no... There is no one to enforce the laws of the society. And it's up to individuals to enforce their own idea of a code of justice onto the world at large. And that's what Mandalorian does. Even though he's not an authority figure, the Mandalorian definitely has his own moral code, which he sticks to at all times. In fact, the point of the show sort of is that idea. That he's given a command to kill this infant, and he decides he's not going to do it. Or he not to kill the infant, but I'm sorry, but to retrieve it and bring it back. And he brings it back, and it creates this dilemma in his moral code. And in a great moment, he decides that he's going to save the child instead and protect the child from these Imperial thugs. He is taking this unjust society with no authority, and he's imposing his own authority on it. I mean, that's a Western every way you look at it, right? He might not be a wandering sheriff, right? But he's definitely a lone gunslinger who rides into town and takes down the bad guys. And that's the sort of variation that I think the show is, that Star Wars as a genre is lacking. I don't think it's necessarily the theme of Star Wars that needs to be different. I think it's the type of Star Wars content and shows we get. We're always getting this the lone hero's journey, right? Ah, one hit. I hate that. He runs away. What is he scared of? I hate fighting this guy safely. But when I don't fight him safely, that happens. Whoa. That should do it.
Can I get a stim PD1? That hit the spot.
So what should the future of Star Wars be? I think you should do... I think you can do anything. I think you can do literally anything. Have a detective show from someone in the Imperial Police who's confronted with the unjust system. Have a show from the